Welcome back, trainers. So we have some great news. A new Deoxys form is heading to the EX raids, and that is going to be the attack form. And that is fantastic news because we're going to actually be able to solo these things. So that is going to be great. We're going to be able to show up at any time and take care of business. How difficult is it going to be? It's not going to be that hard. All right, so we're also going to be going over, can you use your second charge move that you bought using Stardust and Candy in raids? And also in gyms. Yes, you can, but there's going to be a little problem with the gyms. As far as the raids, they work fine, but we're going to go over all that. So, trainers, let's go over this. This is pretty exciting news. Okay, so let's go over the details here. When exactly are you going to be able to take this on? Is it going to be with that next invitation that you have in your inventory currently for December 20th? No, not at all, and it's very clear as day right here. This Psychic-type mythical Pokemon will be available to challenge beginning with the next cycle of EX invitations after December 20th. Simple as that. Then they go on to talk about how you get an invitation, and if you're unaware on how to get an EX pass, you're just going to have to raid at gyms that have the tag at the top, typically parks and sponsored locations, as you can see in the images here. And if you have been trying and have yet to have a EX gym pop up in your location, you know, there is still some problems within the game about that, and hopefully you can get your area to spring up an EX gym soon enough. The best thing to do is just have as many people raid at a official park, and or if you have a sponsored gym. If you don't have any sponsored, the best bet is go to parks. And if you don't have any parks that can become EX gyms, maybe your best bet is to go on OpenStreetMap and take a look at what are official parks. And then if there is a gym there, then start raiding there like crazy. And have other people raid there too, so you can trigger that to become an EX gym, and that's how it kind of works there. So best of luck to everybody. Now let's jump into the rest of this information here. Alrighty, trainers, now let's go and take a look at some raids with me going up against them with Pokemon that I've purchased a secondary move with. Now, is it going to be smart to buy moves for all of the Pokemon that you like? Well, let's go over this. For instance, we have this amazing Electivire here, and he knows it. Look at him. He's like, that's right, I am amazing. Alright, so we have Thunder and Wild Charge. Okay, Thunder is something you don't really want because, I mean, look at Wild Charge. It's doing 90, just 10 less, and it's going to be charging so much quicker. By the time you get Thunder up, you're going to be knocked out, right? Wild Charge is going to get up, you're going to hit them, and or make them use their shield. So we don't need Thunder. Now, its other move that it has is going to be Thunder Punch, which is going to be a 3 charge bar move. Personally using Electivire myself with Wild Charge and Thunder Punch, I actually tested that out. It works okay. Basically, if the Pokemon has a 2 charge bar move, and then if you're thinking about purchasing another one for it, unlocking that secondary move, but it only has a single bar, and it's the same type, like we have Thunder here, and pretend it didn't have Thunder Punch, then it's definitely not going to be worth investing. But since it does have that 3 charge bar move, even though it is the same type, electric, it's going to be able to get off a little bit quicker with that Thunder Punch. It's going to help you get the edge, because you know how it goes sometimes in PvP. You don't care if the charge move is strong or weak, you just need to get one off as quick as possible before they hit you with that final blow and you do the same to them. Since this thing has come back from the gym, I'm actually going to fix its moves up right here, right now for everybody to see. The ideal set that you may want. Now, low kick isn't bad, okay, but I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to switch that up. Okay, we got Thunder Shock, beautiful. Now, all right, now let's go ahead and change our charge move, and if you haven't seen this before, you're just going to pick it. So we have Thunder and then Wild Charge. We definitely do not want to change Wild Charge, so we're going to go ahead and hit Thunder, and we're going to get Thunder Punch. There we go. So now we have a 3 charge bar move and a 2 charge bar. Thunder Punch is going to help me, you know, just get that little bit of damage in right before I faint or something if Wild Charge isn't completely charged up. Alright, and as you can see, I've been putting up some gameplay of me going up against these raids, and all the Pokemon do have a secondary move paid for here. So yes, it works good in the raids. There is no bugs whatsoever that I can tell. The only problem that you're going to see once you've purchased that secondary move is going up against a gym, which I have some footage right after this Cresselia. Now, the next question is this, and I don't have an answer for you yet. Maybe some of you in the comments could let me know with a definite answer, right? And that is going to be, when you drop a Pokemon in a gym that has 2 moves, say this Gardevoir has Dazzling Gleam and Shadow Ball. The original move was going to be Dazzling Gleam. If you put it in a gym to defend, what is that opponent, when they fight it, going to see? I personally think, in my theory, that it's going to see the Dazzling Gleam, the original move. It would be amazing if it was randomized. Wouldn't that be something? That would really be pretty neat. But at the same time, it could really mess up the way you wanted to defend the gym. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these gym battles with Pokemon that I have bought a second move for, which would be all my Sinnoh Stones as well. So we're just going to use Roserade and then Rhyperior for the example here. So what's going to happen is, once you've defeated the first Pokemon, and then you encounter the second one, the move that you purchased will actually be gone. Now, it's not going to disappear from your Pokemon completely. Once you've finished the gym battle and backed out, still will have that. It's just not going to show up for you to actually use going up against that Pokemon. What move you're going to see was the original one that you had before the purchase. For me, that is going to be Sludge Bomb, and then I have Solar Beam there. I was even contemplating about switching it up to Dazzling Gleam, because that would be an amazing Dragon Slayer little surprise there. But I digress. So yes, check it out. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Only Sludge Bomb. So yeah, I was thinking, okay, I haven't done a complete test. I've seen this before, but I haven't continued on. I just backed out just to see, because personally, ever since PvP came out, I haven't been battling gyms at all. So yeah, gonna go into the Donphin. Maybe it will possibly show up after this. Nope, it is still gone. So I am gonna go ahead and defeat this Donphin here with the Roserade, and then I'm going to put in my Rhyperior to see if it will affect all of my Pokemon. So this is nothing game breaking. Unfortunately, it's happening, but that's fine. I'm sure they'll get around to fixing it. At least the raids are working correctly, and the gym battles, once they switch their Pokemon, and you still have your secondary move, right? I think they really need to focus on PvP and a bit of the bugs that revolve around it. So what is going to happen here once I put my Rhyperior into battle is it is going to have both of its charge moves available for me to use. And the only time that your secondary move is going to go away is once you've defeated a Pokemon and move into the next Mon, then that secondary move that you have will be gone. And that's that. So this is a minor inconvenience, but after all, it is just gym battles. So I thought I'd throw this into the video. Niantic support just tweeted this out, talking about they're aware of the issue. And I promise you, I was literally recording that before they said anything. So yeah, there you have it. They're aware of the issue. And like I said, they'll be resolving it soon enough. Right, trainers, so we are on the Go Hub. Let's take a look at Deoxys attack form to see what we have going down over here. So it is going to be a pure psychic type. Max CP 2,580. Attack. Whoa, 414. Yeah, that's pretty intense. But defense, 47. All right, so yes, we are going to be able to solo this thing. And with the increased super effective damage, should be easier than ever. Super excited to see the results in this. And if it's easy enough with Tyrannitars and Mewtwo's, I don't know if I really want to use a Gengar with an attack like that. It might just go down in like 2 hits. But with things that can resist the moves, it should go fairly quick. And then once you've done it a few times, then it should be fun to start, I don't know, using unique Pokemon to go up against it. Because, well, who doesn't want to solo an EX raid? That's amazing. Stamina 137. All right, now let's go ahead and look at the weaknesses so you can be prepared. Pure Psychic type, weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost. Resisting Fighting and Psychic. Now let's see what moves it has so we can prepare ourselves. And the moves are looking kind of, really good. So it has Zen Headbutt and Poison Jab for the quick moves. Poison Jab is good. Zen Headbutt is also great on it as well because it's strong and it's getting stabs. So this might prove to be a bit difficult, although Tyranitar is looking like the key here so far. Now it has Zap Cannon, Dark Pulse, and Psycho Boost for its charge moves. So if you plan on using your Mewtwo's and it has Dark Pulse, say goodnight. How about Gengar's? Say bye-bye. Alright, so Psycho Boost is also going to be super effective to your Gengar's, but Tyranitar is going to be resisting that, and so is Mewtwo. If it has Zap Cannon, well, neutral damage, and you should be alright. I think the easiest one to go up against is going to be probably Poison Jab, Zap Cannon. That's the moveset you're going to want to see. If it has Zen Headbutt, or I mean maybe Poison Jab and Dark Pulse, that's going to also be pretty difficult. Psycho Boost as well, but if you're using Tyranitars, you're going to be resisting that, so it shouldn't be so hard whatsoever. But yeah, Dark Pulse, 2 charge bar move, Psycho Boost, 2 charge bar move, plus stab, and a lot of damage. Alright, so this is looking great, guys. Let's go ahead and go over the counters to see exactly what you're going to want to use to go up against it. Alright, so I have Dark, Bug, Ghost, and then Mewtwo pulled up here. I don't have any other Psychic types because I'm just going to leave it at that. With that Dark Pulse, it's just going to be pretty nasty. Mewtwo is an exception. Probably it'll go down. Well, it will go down once it does that Dark Pulse once. It's going to be intense. Possibly. All right, so best bet right off the bat is just going to be straight up Tyranitar. You don't want this moveset here. You're going to want Bite and Crunch, okay? And that's it, all right? So if you do have Smackdown, I mean, you know, go ahead. And obviously don't switch that ever. But if you have Tyranitar's with Bite, this is going to be it. All right, it's not going to take super effective damage from anything. As a matter of fact, it's going to take reduced damage from its psychic moves and then the dark move as well. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be your best bet. Also, another good option though can be Scizor. I mean, it's going to be able to tank through quite a few of that stuff it's going to be putting out and also giving off good amount of damage. Now I do have 2 charge moves here purchased, X-Scissor and then Night Slash. And I do tend to switch these up, so don't get too familiar with these movesets here. But X-Scissor is going to be very good as well. You're going to be getting stabbed. Night Slash is also going to be super effective against that Deoxys raid as well. And then we have, of course, the Weavile, which is also going to be a nice addition to the team. With that Sinnoh Stone, if you're able to get one as a dark attacker, it's going to be actually doing more damage than Tyranitar, but it's not going to be able to survive quite as long. So being a dark and ice type, it doesn't really have anything to worry about from Deoxys at all. So feint attack and foul play is going to be what you're going to want to go in there with for sure. So if you have multiple of these, use them, all right? Alongside your Tyranitars for sure. Scizor, like I said, is going to be great. I almost think Scizor is going to be better over Mewtwo if the Deoxys does not have Dark Pulse, right? If it does, then you don't want to use this. If it doesn't, then Mewtwo's definitely a go and going to be one of your best options. Now, the whole Confusion, Psycho Cut, what do you want? I'm going with Confusion. I mean, I'm telling you straight up, Psycho Cut is going to be what you want and where it's at for PvP. No exceptions. Unless you're going up against something that's weak against the Confusion. You don't really have to worry too much about getting off that charge move in a PvP match. But I'd say 95% of the time, you want Psycho Cut. Doesn't matter, just so you can charge up your charge move better. But when you're going up against a raid, personally, for me, I went over this many times, I'm going to be using Confusion to, charge up my Shadow Ball. Because with the damage that you're taking, Shadow Ball is going to be charged almost as fast as using Psycho Cut and then versus Confusion. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, could you use Giratina? You guess, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Very low DPS. Now, Gengar is going to be a great option if it has Zap Cannon, right? And maybe Poison Jab. Zap Cannon, Poison Jab, Gengar, a go. Remember that. Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, or pretty much any quick move will be super effective to Deoxys. Sucker Punch, Hex, Lick, all of those are going to be working perfectly. Which ones are the best? Well, I mean, Lick and Shadow Claw. Technically, Shadow Claw is. But when I did do that PvP match, my friend had a Shadow Claw. I had a Lick. We didn't do any charge moves against each other. Gengar versus Gengar. The Lick one completely dominated it. But once again, going back to PvP matches have different rhythms and things like that. So it doesn't matter. Shadow Claw, Lick, Hex, Sucker Punch, it all works. As long as you have Shadow Ball, that's what you're going to want. All right? Also, if you have a Legacy, I guess that works too. And then you also have the Alolan Muck with Bite and Dark Pulse. So that is also going to be a great option too. Low DPS, but going up against such a weak raid boss, you should be perfectly fine. And over preparing for this is very unnecessary. If you're going in there with a big group, you don't Agrons. I'm not saying use them, but I'm just saying you literally are not going to have to do much of anything with a big group. This thing is so weak, it's going to go down is so fast. It might take a couple of your Pokemon out really quick because it is going to be fairly strong. But yeah. Then you have Houndoom, of course, with Snarl and Foul Play. Always a great option. All right, and then we're just moving down the list. Of course, you have Pincer and then Absol. Those will work fantastic partners on your team as well. And then for the Pincer, let's go ahead and look at that. You're going to want Bug Bite and then X-Scissor. So there you have it. Pretty much that is it. You can use all kinds of things because it's going to be so weak. You can even try out a Spiritomb. That'd be fun, right? So just give you a heads up, your best option, literally, is just going to be Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch. There you go. And also Weavile with Feint Attack and Foul Play. All right? So there you have it, trainers. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. The app was just updated. As a matter of fact, I opened up the game, had to stop recording for a little while and update it because it said to continue update. So thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.